you can't say it doesn't exist, but your brain is playing a trick because that color really does not exist at all. But with all of this, your brain is playing a trick. And it just when I've talked about the brain before, and I think we all agree it's an incredible thing and a difficult subject to navigate because it's so complicated. And indeed, although the brain has been mapped in terms of what happens and what happens where in the brain, there's still the vast majority of it we don't really understand how it works. It is, I mean, this is a 3 pound spongy mess of water,
Yeah.
75 to 80% water. The rest of it is between fat and protein. So you've
Oh,
got three very ordinary, mundane substances in
yeah.
the language of the world we live in, and yet they create what we're doing now. They create memory, they create speech, sight, vision, color. The brain, it's incredible that if you lift it out of your head, apparently some people say it looks a bit like tofu or soft butter. It feels like, someone said, overcooked blancmange, but nothing that will give the slightest clue of what it can do. I mean, the brain, of course, is trapped in our heads. It never sees the light of day.
No.
It's a world of electrical impulses. It cannot feel the warm sunshine or a soft breeze, all the things we think are brilliant, which the brain in many ways creates for us, the beauty around all that. So it's locked away, and yet it creates this sensually 3D spectacular world and universe for us. And as you said, it's hard to believe really what we see sometimes.
Mm.
It's just the most wonderful thing, this brain of ours. And it's said, scientists have no doubt it is the most spectacular, you know, incredible thing in the whole universe. Isn't that?
It
And
is.
if it's not, I mean, they're pretty confident when they say that. But if it's not, they say we've got some pretty other spectacular stuff still to find. If the brain isn't really up there with all of this, and I guess from when we're young, maybe we had to grow up and go along that the conscious part of ourselves
Yeah.
has very little control over what the brain does for us. You know,
True.
the eye that flickers awake in the mornings in consciousness, we get to realize that we don't actually control much of what goes on. The brain is working all the time. I mean,
It's
did you
very
know
true.
that the amount of information that the brain churns in
Yeah.
30 seconds
Yeah.
is more than the Hubble Space Telescope churned information wise in 30 years?
Wow.
Now, I don't know how they discover that, but whoever they are, I suppose the scientists, in 30 seconds, the brain processes more information than the space telescope Hubble did in 30 years. Has somebody
That's
joined us here? Looks like it.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, so that this is Tinuke. I don't know I don't know if she's gonna come on camera or not.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, Tinuke.
Uh, uh,
Uh
uh, and the other thing, should I carry on or yeah?
yeah, yeah,
Another thing
please.
I was going to say, if I can remember, the one one cubic no, sorry, 1 cubic milliliter
Yeah.
of brain cortex, about the size of a grain of sand, can hold what they say they call 2,000 surface. Can hold what they say they call 2,000 terabytes of information, enough to store all the movies that have ever been made. Now that's 1 cubic
Sarah,
millimeter
Yeah.
Sarah,
of one. that's like the size of a grain of sand can hold all that information.
Yeah.
We say
And
hello to.
yeah, were you gonna say hello to us, Tinuke?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Tinuke.
Tinuke, we've got. All right, I think she's muted. She muted herself.
Yeah.
Might be having technical problems. Anyway, now is it true that the information that we have, the information that our brain uses, is less than? All right. Okay. So here's a better way to phrase it. Is it true that we're only using less than 5% of our brain's capacity?
Well, I've heard that said about you sometimes, but generally,
mine's less than 1%.
I don't mean to be rude, cuz I'm only joking. But no, there's always been that kind of rumor or thought that we use 5 or 10% of our brain and the rest is not used. Now, as I believe it to be, that's not true. I think the brain is active throughout itself, and we can see that in some respects by the incredible things it does. So no, I don't think that is true. But what I think is probably the case is that we do have unused, as yet unused for most of us, abilities that are definitely there. For example, can't think of the initials of it, but ESP, extrasensory perception. We all may get examples of that in our lives. We've probably said before that, you might be sitting on a bus or you might be driving, in a traffic jam and next to another car, and you look round and the person's looking at you, or you may even be walking along. And if I think, if I'm walking along, I can't think of a particular example, but I might see someone in front of me.
Yeah.
From the back, I think, is that so and so? And they suddenly look round. There is something about us that we seem to know when someone is looking at us, and we don't always, even then when we look and they are, we don't think, oh, that was strange, I picked that up. But I think we do have that strange ability. In the same way, I mean, it happened to me the other night. I had a phone call from Paul, my son, and he came into my mind about something. I forget what it was. Doesn't matter. And I thought, I must tell Paul that. Immediately the phone rang.